Inside of this colorful box is the second generation of the Knock Detective, a powerful audio knock detection product crammed into a 52mm gauge. Today, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to install and use it so that your pistons don't look like this. We're here at Egan Motorsports in Ontario, Canada, and the owner, Ryan, lent us his turbocharged EP3 Civic. This thing is running a K24 A2 with a 3582 turbo on an AEM Infinity ECU. First, we got to install the included knock sensor. Now, where we put this sensor is important, and we want to get it on the block as close to the deck surface as possible because that's where detonation actually happens. On this K24, we're going to use the OEM location, but if you want to keep your OEM sensor active, use a bolt hole as close to it as you can on the block. The bolt uses a 6mm Allen key, and it gets torqued to around 15 foot-pounds. Click. Next up, we connect the sensor cable to the sensor and run it into the cabin. Now that I've run the sensor cable into the cabin of the car, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on the electrical connections. This is the cable that plugs into the back of the gauge, and it has 5 connections plus 2 sensor inputs. As you can see behind me, I've tore apart the entire interior of Ryan's car, and I'm going to show you how I have them connected. First up, we've got the knock sensor cable. It can be connected to either of the 2 sensor inputs. The red wire gets switched 12 volts, and the dark purple wire gets ground. The blue wire is the analog output. You can connect it to an ECU to data log knock events. The brown wire is the disable feature. I'll show you exactly how that works in a second. And the gray wire is the gain wire. Most people won't need to use this, but if you have a really noisy engine, pulling this to ground will cut the input strength in half. Now that it's wired, we're going to take the fastening collar, slide it over the cable, put the cable through the hole, connect the gauge. Nice. Put the gauge in the hole, and use the fastening collar to secure it in place. Okay, we've got the gauge installed, powered, and connected to the ECU. The next step is to calibrate the sensitivity. We have the car strapped to the dyno, but you can easily do this on the street as long as you're being safe. The goal is to reduce the sensitivity so that only a single LED is flickering during normal engine operation. The Knock Detective arrives with the sensitivity maxed out. This is too sensitive for any engine out there, and you will see LEDs regardless of knock. Don't panic, this is intentional. We want to listen to the headphone output and make sure the engine isn't knocking while we calibrate the sensitivity. We're cooling off in our rental car's AC right now. We just did a single ramp run, and I was able to get the sensitivity calibrated so that it was only flickering a single LED at any point during the pull. We're about to go back in and do some more ramp runs, clean up the fueling a bit more, and then we'll begin adding ignition timing until we hear it knock. But before we do any pulls, let me show you exactly how the disable feature works. On some cars, an aggressive ignition cut limiter can cause false knock readings. That's what the disable feature is for. Anytime this wire is pulled to ground, the knock detection circuitry is disabled. In this table, I've configured the ECU to pull the disabled wire to ground above 6,900 RPM. This is 200 RPM below the rev limiter, which is a good starting place, but you may need to adjust it based on your car. In this next clip, you'll hear the hard cut limiter overloading the gauge, but you'll notice the light turns yellow at the bottom. This prevents false readings. Now we're going to take a section in the middle of the timing map and add excessive timing so I can show you what knock sounds like and what it looks like on the gauge. That snappy, irregular sound is what we're listening for. Here's a clip of my Evo knocking. Underneath it is what you would see if you were data logging the gauge's output. So that's it. Now that you know when your motor is knocking, you can push your tune with confidence. Using the Knock Detective, engine protection has never been easier. Get yours today at fowlertuning.com.